Alexander Volkanovski was defeated by Ilia Topuria in the second round by brutal combinations, KO, straight against the cage. And look, folks, this is the definition of styles make fights. 100%. Because Ilia Topuria showed weakness. Volkanovski was jabbing him from the outside and didn't let him pin him down in the early round, and he was having a lot of success. Topuria was landing a low leg kick early and in the second, was finding it. But I must say, if that low leg kick doesn't completely compromise him, or Volk, and Volk doesn't get caught up against the cage, could have been a very different fight. Fair play to Ilia Topuria. He's so fun to watch. He's brilliant. He's truly a marauder. He comes forward looking for brutal combinations. And he found them. He found them against Volk. Obviously, everyone was predicting kind of Ilia to catch him, finish him, and there was always that chance. They're a similar height, which is a massive issue for Volk, because Volk leaves the pocket with his chin up after parrying with his lead hand. He backs out with his chin up for that right hand over the top of an orthodox opponent. Wow. There's one thing here, guys. A lot of people in the community are now saying this. How about this? Scrap Holloway Gaethje. Let Holloway fight for the belt and let Islam fight for the belt in two separate divisions. They're not going to do that. Don't be ridiculous. They've got a fight booked. They've signed a contract. And if they didn't do that, UFC 300 would be fucked. Look. Fair play, Illia. In the back of my mind, I knew Illia was going to get it done. I just had a feeling Illia's going to get it done. But I picked Volk. I bet on Volk, essentially just because we had never seen him necessarily struggle at 145. We've never seen him face adversity. And until we see someone give him some form of adversity, I'm going to pick, realistically, the height difference between Volk and his regular opponents plays in Volk's favour. He works on getting on the inside. You can't do that with Illia. You have to play the outside game, which was working for him. I think Max Holloway beats Topuria by keeping him on the outside with a jab and not letting him pin him down. I also feel like Holloway's got a better chin, obviously, but one of those right hands lands on anyone, someone's getting fucked up. Because Ilya's a lifelong martial artist. He's a lifelong wrestler, grappler, and he's been striking very well and boxing for a long time. And he's only 27. Look. Ilia Topuria showed us that he's the fucking man at 145. I do think someone like Yair Rodriguez gives him problems the same way Jai Herbert gave him problems. Jai Herbert made a mistake. What did Jai Herbert do? He got himself backed up against the cage, and Ilya has these 5 or 6 punches combinations and only needs one punch. Taking Ilya down is very difficult because he's tiny. He's a little man. He's only 5'6". He's tiny. Like, that's a woman's type of height. Do you know what I mean? And, look, Ilia Topuria is a killer. He's a fucking monster. He's fun as well. I like him, but I also don't like him. He's kind of like one of those guys, one of those like reps you'd meet in Ibiza that's hitting on all the women and he's a cunt and you don't like him. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit like that. He's one of those guys. But fair play to him. I truly think what they're going to do next is Ilya versus Sean O'Malley. I think that's a good fight to do next as well. Mainly, do you want to hear this? Mainly because they're both massive names. It's a winnable fight for O'Malley. It's a winnable fight for Topuria. If O'Malley wins, you have a double champ. He's a superstar. If Topuria wins, it's no problem because O'Malley's also the champ at 135, so he can rebuild over there. Do you know what I mean? And then you have 2 massive stars coming off a fight like that. Volkanovski is not getting an immediate rematch. I don't care what you say. I think Topuria fights someone else in the meantime. I think Volkanovski's next fight, it will be for the featherweight title, but I don't think his next fight will be Ilya's next fight, you know? I think Volkanovski will be back. I think August maybe he'll be back. I think he's going to have to take a good 6-7 months off now because he got KO'd by Makhachev with a brutal head kick and pounded. And you can say, oh, that was at 155. It's still a massive man knocking you out with a head kick and pounding your face in. Then you've just been flatlined by Ilya against the cage and 8 brutal punches after that. And you're 35, coming off 2 knockout losses and 1 other decision loss, which you took damage in and you were dropped in. People are saying Volkanovski's done. He definitely is chinny now. He's definitely chinny. He's always been a bit chinny, but I think he does have, his fight IQ is brilliant. He can adapt and adjust on the fly, and he let Ilya pin him against the corner, which he never should have done. Obviously, Illia is just that good. He cuts off the cage. I think Holloway beats Topuria in a battle, in a war. I think Holloway beats Topuria by keeping him at range. Holloway will know it's probably his last chance at the 145 title. He'll know how dangerous Topuria is. But if Holloway goes out there and he gets roughed up by Gaethje, but he gets a decision or he wins, in my mind, Gaethje hits a lot harder than Ilia Topuria. He's a much bigger guy than Ilia Topuria. Although Gaethje doesn't really knock people out, though. He knocked Poirier out with the head kick. He went to a decision with Fiziev, a decision with Chandler. You know, he got dropped by Oliveira. Couldn't knock Oliveira out after hurting him. I just wanted to throw that out there, folks. I don't think Gaethje's as big of a power puncher as you guys think he is. I think the blunt trauma Gaethje puts on people is incredible, and I think he's accurate as fuck. But back to the point at hand. What's next for Ilia Topuria? I think Sean O'Malley. Give him Sean O'Malley, or guys, give him Volk. Sean O'Malley or Volk, immediate rematch, or the Sean O'Malley fight if O'Malley beats Vera. I want to see that maybe like June, July, August. I know O'Malley wants September in the sphere, you know, the big fucking circle. I don't want to see O'Malley and Topuria wait until September. I want to see O'Malley fight July, August, potentially co-main event to McGregor, and I want to see then O'Malley fight at the end of the year. I want O'Malley to be an active champion. He says he wants to fight 2 or 3 times a year. If it's big fights, yeah, 2 times, no problem. But if you're going to be active as a defending champion, I want to see you fight 3 times. Beat Vera, have a title defense at bantamweight, go fight Illia, whatever happens, then go back to bantamweight before the end of the year. Then 2025, come back in like April. That's what I can foresee happening. In terms of O'Malley Vera, I say O'Malley knocks him out. I think O'Malley is massively underrated. I think O'Malley puts him away early and quick, to be honest with you. However, Illia is patient as fuck, but O'Malley won't get pinned up against the cage, and it could be a boring fight, but I think O'Malley gets it done. Ilia Topuria, Volkanovski 2, I think Illia probably goes out and does it again. Volkanovski, I don't think I'll be able to keep him at range for the full 5 rounds. I don't think I'll be able to take him down. I would like to see Volk. I know Volk wants an immediate rematch because he's been a champion for so long, and that's fair enough. I'd like to see Volk fight a contender to get him back in there, to get Volk back in the win column, for Volk mentally to realize, okay, like I'm still here, I'm still the champ. I've just finished by Illia. Styles make fights. Styles make fucking fights. That's the definition of that fight. Volkanovski tried a takedown in the first, couldn't get it. He won the first round clearly, like I think. Oh, God. Fair play to Ilia Topuria. I'm excited to see what Ilia's reign has in store. I think Ilia is very beatable. I think Ilia is a very beatable champion. If you keep him... He can be hurt. And I think people are like, oh, he's a marauder, he's a dangerous guy. Ilia is fucking great and fun to watch because he finishes fights. I think he's extremely beatable, though. I think Ilia is also a little bit chinny. I think Volk hit him with a few jabs and his face was open, cut, bruised, his black eye, broken nose, it looked like. Not quite a broken nose, but do you know what I mean? I think Ilia is a bit frail because he's only a little guy. He's not as stocky as Volkanovski. Doesn't have as big of a neck. I think he's very easy to knock out. Obviously, I'm not going to be the man to do it, but I think Sean O'Malley will be able to, and we'll see what happens next. But Topuria Holloway is a great fight as well. I think Holloway batters him, to be honest. I think Holloway puts a strike record on that man's face. I would love to see Topuria Holloway next. If not the O'Malley fight, let Volk have a year off. Like, I don't want to see Volk for 10 months. Anyway, see you later, folks. I love you to pieces. Subscribe, comment, subscribe to the Instagram. Follow the Instagram, I meant. And I'd really appreciate some feedback in the comments. See you later.